Okay, welcome to another daily dose of swipe. It's not another day, but we're gonna continue what we were breaking down yesterday. The email funnel, anyways, like if you're new to this channel, what this all is about is, I hope you already know the gist of it, but we'll break down long form, short form, all sorts of copy here so that, we can extract the principles incorporated in the sales messages and sales assets of our competitors and people in other different industries and incorporate those principles into our own businesses so that we can make more money, and that is what we are all here for at the end of the day, right? So if you're watching this, you're probably a copywriter or marketer or who has somebody who has something to do with this field. And to give you context, yesterday we were breaking down a promotion from, I don't know what the brand was. It was a health brand, but it had a wealth promo, a sales letter promo. Anyways, a promotion from the wealth space, like Trump's secret Manhattan project. And we broke down the email, we broke down the environment of the whole thing, like who was watching this, and like what kind of person is in this funnel. Like maybe let me just cut back to this. Okay, and the type of person, the right kind of person who's into this funnel. We've already broken down the environment of the whole thing, like how and when and how the media buying was done, and was the market awareness and market sophistication and shit like that, which I went in very brief depth. Sorry, like very, like not brief, but in depth. Okay, and that is what we're gonna continue doing today. We're gonna break down over VSL, the VSL we had, um, the VSL we're directed to at the end of the in the email. I'm not gonna go over the entire thing that we discussed in yesterday's video because this is gonna take the video is gonna be too long. Just know that this was a sponsorship promo, meaning you promote to the brands who provide complimentary services to your ideal prospects. And this is a wealth promo, and which was they sponsored a health brand because the target market is the same, people above the ages of 55, and they wrote the copy for it, they wrote the VSL for it, and they now pay good commission to the health brand for directing the traffic to this VSL. And this is probably a front end promo because now I know it. I was I somewhat new yesterday. We're breaking down, but I'm sure because right now they yesterday when we were breaking down, we did not see the timeline, and we not there was no CDA, meaning it was like positioned as an information piece rather than a VSL. But I don't know, like it just got marinated in my website and something like that. So yeah, we're gonna break down the entire fucking VSL, 1 hour long. If you want to watch it, watch it with me. If not, you're a fucking pussy. I know that I did not. I thought like the VSL could probably be like 30 minutes long. Looks like it's an hour long, and I promised that I would break this down. So now I can back down on my word. I have to stand on my words as a man. Don't I? So yeah, we've already broken down this part. We're gonna continue breaking down the VSL, and we're also gonna touch on the copy on the next page that that they've directed to that they've directed us to go, which is like another information piece. This is not like a VSL. People know that they are gonna get sold, but as I said, this was not here yesterday, and people were not able to see I was not able to see the whole timeline. Maybe like it just happens if if you have visited this website for like what 10-20 hours or something like that. I don't know how this stuff works, but as soon as you watch it, you're gonna get directed to this page, and this is their Bunyan Hill. This is their main website. I also signed up to their newsletter because why not? More copy element for us to break down. So Trump's blah blah blah. this page acts like another information piece because you see like seven AI stocks that will make America the world's undisputed superpower. Okay, seven AI stocks. It's just positioned as information piece. Like how it's like more lead magnets, right? But they are also saying the name. Oh, great! Now I'm gonna invest in these and make a lot of more money. But you must do this before 50, and you must sign up to our newsletter for further information. I know this page is lagging like crazy, but let's not focus on that. Let's not like stop the yap, cut the yap, and start breaking down the VSL. I don't have any software to transcript the words, the VSL itself, so we're just gonna listen to it, and I'm gonna just tell you guys like what I'm gonna just we're gonna watch it. I'm gonna pause in between. I'm gonna tell you why they used what they told, why they told what they told. Um, and this is how we're gonna this is how the next hour and 30 minutes gonna look like. There's no 2x either, so we're gonna have to, you know, you're gonna have to put through, but this is what it demands. If not, maybe I just wasted my time, which I don't think I am. Without further ado, let's get into the VSL breakdown.
First 100 days, and I believe it's going to funnel 113. Biden broke it.
Okay, Biden broke it. What did Biden broke? Like his leg, because that's what the video just the scene just told us, right? What like he broke his leg or something like that. Anyways, it's a pattern interrupt. If you do not like do not know about that, the pattern interrupt is you're just gonna get them hooked. Biden broke it. What did Biden break? Like okay, straight into the VSL. They're gonna make it the whole screen, and because there's not much to do, they're just gonna watch the whole thing. Like they don't have another button to click, or they're not in the web like YouTube. They're not gonna do all that shit. Okay, let's make sure like it's actually recording. Okay, 7 minutes in. And as I said, the button wasn't here yesterday when I was watching, so it's probably it's gonna pop up in between, like in these sections, in the closing sections, or I don't know, maybe in this part, but I don't know about that. And yesterday there was no button, so it was just like a video, like an average information video, which is only positioned so because the target audience is like certain way. You're not using it just because like they want your attention, they want you to consume the copy. Okay, I hope you got the point. I'm not gonna get more descriptive about it. Okay, let's break down the VSL.
Trump's going to fix it. Starting with what?
Okay, Biden broke it, Trump's going to fix it. Okay, so that's the relevance, right? Trump's the president, and this is all of this I mentioned in the video, yesterday's video, the relevance and shit like that. Trump just became a president and he's running new regulations and doing some politics shit I don't know about, which is gonna hook majority of our reader because they are, as I said, people of the age of 55 who pride in the modern America, Trump's America, because they either like Trump or they hate Trump. Anyways, they just want to make profit. The main objective here is they've been promised to make more money through the Manhattan Project. There's like a secret Manhattan Project Trump's running, and because of that, you're gonna make a lot more profit. So people are here to make profits. Yeah, that's the emotion. They want to make more money. That the greed is their emotion, but they have a logic to back it up with. That is, doing it for the nation. They Trump's launching a secret Manhattan Project that's gonna what like that's gonna like what change their like put good let's say improve their economy, so you like have a reason, like you have a greater reason to act. Not just the profits gonna come, now you have an even greater reason to act. That is, making America great again, which is the relevance. And Trump's just like what hit his 100 days and shit, something like that. So you see like how relevant this is. It's not that this is like an outdated promo or something. No, this is very relevant. This way people feel like it's news, so that that is something they can keep up with. It's novel information. So whenever you receive like witness novel information, you tend to retain more of the information. I hope there's enough depth. If you did not watch yesterday's video, it's gonna be hard for you to, like understand my points, and I'm not gonna go on that level of depth because video is gonna get too fucking long.
What I call Executive Order 001.
What I call Executive Order 001. You're giving a new name to the mechanism, which is one of the best things, one of the best skills to learn. Like, you need to give your products a good name. Executive Order 001, like a code name. People are gonna associate with it. So
It's his number one move during his first 100 days.
number one move. But it's something important.
And I believe it's going to funnel $113 billion.
Also acts as a price anchor when you use like big numbers. Small number like $297, which is the the price of the annual subscription to the newsletter, is just gonna look too small. Okay. And one more thing is that this is a front end promo, as I said, meaning they are gonna give a lot of commission of the sales that they make on this to the health brand. But they're gonna acquire more customer. They're gonna even go like maybe go further and get in like to $1 million. Maybe like there's the total revenue they generate from this promotion after all this, maybe from this specific promo, could be like, I don't know, 300 grand. And all of it, they're not gonna make a single profit on it. All of it is gonna be spent to acquire the customer. Majority of it is they're just gonna pay it, and they could even go in loss. Maybe like um maybe they spend like 200-300 grand on advertising, meaning paying commissions to these brands. Of course, that way you don't like not make profit, but you get my point, right? You, even though you're paying like probably like 50, 60, 70, some even pay like 80% on for these guys, for this, like when you're like asking other brands, like sponsoring this newsletter to other brands. um, but you're not gonna make profits on that. Like obviously not, but you're gonna make way more in the back end, meaning you acquired a customer, you acquired a buyer, no tire kickers, people who are willing to spend money into your brand. So meaning, like, you can send back end promotions to them. You could ask them to buy another 2-3 grand worth of high ticket products and upsell them, and make, and all of that money is gonna be pure profit for the brand, meaning they're like spending money to acquire customer rather than trying to make more profit while they do these sponsorships and partnership deals. I hope you understood. I hope I got my point across.
Dollars into a handful of little known tech companies you'll hear about today.
Handful of little known tech companies. Okay, so tech companies, like tech is now booming, so tech is on the boom. I might as well invest on it. It's relevance, right? It's relevant.
This
And by the way, it's all visual, so it's gonna hook more attention rather than a sales letter itself. But it depends. Some people retain more information while reading, some retain more while watching. I fall into the latter category myself, and probably you fall into the same category yourself as well. That's a common shift we see, because it's all about content these days. People just consume, consume, and consume.
move, which I expect to be
Well, we're just 22 minutes and there's still an hour worth of breakdown.
complete by the end of his first 100 days, will fully submit America's position as the most dominant nation on earth.
Okay, goes back to the whole emotion, right? They want the pride associated with the country. That is the logical reason.
And the envy of the world. Now, please don't mistake my message. I'm not a politician. Instead,
Okay, please don't mistake my message. Okay, when you see the guy behind the voice himself, mentioning this stuff, or let's say the creator, the guru, this is the guru section.
Instead, I'm a nationally recognized
This is the guru section, meaning like you talk about yourself. Why should they listen to you? Yeah, okay, Trump did this thing. Okay, I could make a lot more money if I invest in these startups, because that has been, as I said, that has been the frame from the email that I broke down yesterday, that the reader enters into after landing onto this page and watching this PSL. So they already know the benefits that they're gonna get. That it's just like stock. I'm gonna invest on it, but that's why like there's no huge promise element. Of course, there was the $1 billion stuff. That is one of the, not the promises, but one of the subtle promises that you could make some amount of money off this. So that's our lead part. Now this is the credibility section, meaning he's gonna introduce himself. He's gonna tell like how wide should they listen to him, and this just you if you just show your face, people are just gonna
in
trust you, right? Like you would be more, you're watching this video, like, you would be less likely to watch this video if like there was no person behind this, right? If I was not on the corner of your screen, at the bottom left corner of your screen, yapping about this stuff, right? Yeah, I could have make a faceless YouTube channel, but people buy from people, and of course I'm not going to sell you anything, but people just trust people, right? They want they It's normal for us to seek the faces behind something. I hope you got my point on this one as well.
investing expert. And let me be clear, while I care deeply about the future of our great nation,
Again, the logical part, future of our great nation. I care the future about a great nation, and so does the reader, because he's above the age of 40, 50. I don't know how much, but probably above the age of 45. And he loves his nation because he's been through the Great Depression and something like that. This is like a whole another emotion associated with them. They are in their later stages of their life. They are have like somewhat retired. They are close to the retirement, and they want to save up good money so that they can live in peace for the rest of their lives, and they are proud of their country, like something like that.
my real mission is more like an investing bloodhound. To
Oh yeah, his like his greater mission is making, like, he's proud of the country and he's doing it for his nation, but he also focuses on the what's in it for the reader element, so that people actually stick, right? They just don't want like mere patriotism. They want to make more profits because people are greedy. They want to make more money. Okay, you probably want make more money. I probably want to make more money. There's nothing wrong to it, in my opinion.
follow the scent of how Trump's policies will benefit specific companies that you can invest in today before
Meaning, like, he is invested in making you more money, the reader more money. So he's gonna do everything in order to make you money. And even if people do buy his stuff, this 297, and he has the guarantee, like a 1 year money back guarantee, and majority of them are not gonna refund. And even like a year, that's like a year worth of guarantee. That meaning like you can invest your money, the 297 bucks that you acquire when they like buy or like sign up for your newsletter, you could use that to acquire more customer in the meantime. Maybe like you collect all those investments, sorry, the the money you obtain, the revenue you generate, and you put it into another promotion, put it into another promotion, and like you do like 10, 20 of these launches, and his mere what, well, like 5% refund rates won't even affect your business. 5% is huge in my opinion, but anyways, like, you get the point, right? In, because that is what banks do always. Like, this is how banks operate, right? They take your money. If you maybe it's like you put it into fixed deposit, they're gonna invest that money. They're gonna give loan to others at a higher interest rates, and that is how they operate. This is the same thing, but you're doing it on a smaller scale. That's all the only difference.
before the mainstream finds out. And I couldn't be more excited to report the details I have found inside this leaked document could hand you the biggest investment gains of your life.
By the way, like we did not discuss about this, but see the background matters. Like if he was in the middle of nowhere, this wouldn't have the same effect. But look at him. Like he looks like somewhat professional. He looks like an authority, right? Like he is like a guy who's in his mid 40s, who, like as I said, um appeals, not appeals, that shit gay, but he let's say he resonates. I can't find the fucking word. He represents, yes. He represents the ideal customer because, as I said, the ideal customer is probably between the ages of 40, 50, 50 to 60, and he has some health problems. He want to make more money. He believes in his nation. He believes in the greater good of his nation. He is very proud of the country he lives in, and but he still wants to make more money. Somewhat like this, like the people, they are listening to him. And but if there was, like, let's say, a hot blonde chick in her 20s, they wouldn't it wouldn't be the same amount of it wouldn't have the same effect. Or like a hot blonde chick in her bikini in Miami, you're reporting from her, I don't know, the reporting from the, like, beachside cafe or something. Like, think about that. That wouldn't make sense, does it? This represents the ideal reader. Like, it just does. Look at it. It's credible, right?
Some will go
The background, his dress sense, and his hairstyles, his beard, his age, all of that matters. You see, it's not just copywriting. It's visuals. It's marketing. Grand scheme of things.
as far as to say what I'm about to show you could make you exceedingly wealthy. But as someone who's spent
So yeah, because this is a VSL, your VSL is, you're gonna have the visual elements, which, as I said, will help you to retain more information, which is what I'm not gonna go over moment after moment because, yeah, here's this Lamborghini, like, this Lamborghini does this. No, all of this happens in a subconscious level, which I cannot dive deep into because this video was like get like 5 hours long. So I just try to concise all of my points, and I know I'm yapping. We're just 1 minute in, but these are some important points you need to keep in mind before, like, we go any further, because I might not dive into the same amount of descriptions in between. I'm just gonna remind you of the main points that what we've covered till now.
2 decades on Wall Street, I tend to be more conservative with my forecast. So,
As I said, resonating with the ideal prospect.
I'm going on record saying this could give you the chance to turn $1,000 starting stakes in each of these companies into a
Okay, this is the main big promise.
six-figure fortune. In fact, the last time anything like this happened, a very specific number of stocks skyrocketed, 5,000 to 10,000.
Proof. These are proof elements, by the way. Even though they're not using any business name.
Percent.
Yeah, they are trying. Yeah, so there's the business name, there's which company name, but they're blurring it maybe for confidential reasons. And this just acts as a proof. Wow, this is short. Like, you might not know it. They've not told you like which company this is, but it just acts as proof. You conclude that they know what they're talking about and what they're saying is legit. People just don't think about that stuff.
In the 2 decades that followed, what I'll share today is almost like Trump whispering in your ear his
Is also like Trump whispering. Dimensionalization, meaning it's the same thing, but you're trying to put it like you're trying to in like tell the same message but in a different format, like leveraging analogies and metaphors. It's like you compare it to something. Like, I don't know what is it called, similes? Is it called metaphors? I don't know, but you get the gist, right?
plans for his first 100 days. Which companies are set to benefit the most from the billions of government funds that will soon flow? And how to get your money into these companies before your friends and colleagues hear about this on the nightly news. In the next 90 seconds, I'll share everything.
Okay, in the next 90 seconds. 90 seconds. So see, like 90 seconds. The video, the VSL is 1 hour long, and because they did not, they would the the duration was hidden. People just the duration was hidden. Yes, so people just assumed it's gonna take like another 90 seconds because people have less attention span. If they told like in an I'm gonna tell you all of this in the next hour, people might drop off. But if you say 90 seconds, they are more likely to stay. So this is like the whole big promise. So it looks like our lead is finally over, or in its end phases. It's just gonna take like the first 2-3 minutes are the lead, given that it's an hour and 10 minute worth of long video.
I've found with you, including full details on the
So this is
companies
like
that
an open loop. Whenever you say in the next this, I'm gonna do it. People are gonna stay tuned to it because you just open the loop. It's an NLP, meaning like you open the loop in the mind of the reader. You bribe them to stay to the end and actually stay, so that you can incorporate your sales message and get them like sell them into your message first, and then sell your product. Yes, that comes later because you want them to consume, right? If they just hop off, they're not gonna buy. If they're not even get to like at least like maybe like this and know that they have something to sell, how will they ever buy? They just don't know a product exists. So for that reason, you need to hook their attention till that specific period or till the closing section appears.
that I believe will benefit the most from Executive Order 001 and Trump's 100-day agenda. And in case you think I'm just blowing smoke, consider this. Some of America's biggest investors have already gotten wind of Trump's big move and are so excited about the potential money here that they're betting the house on it. Billionaires like Peter Thiel, the founder of PayPal.
Okay, so there's a now this we've like looks like we've successfully transitioned to the body copy. So it's just gonna follow the pattern of promise proof, promise proof, promise proof punch. Yeah, the OG promise proof punch, or let's say a claim proof and benefit, claim proof benefit, objection claim proof benefit throughout the whole copy. If you see like he just mentioned all of these are all of these big people are investing on this. That is a claim, right? But and now he's gonna show you the image like is acts of the proof, and he's gonna reframe the benefits because he has to hook you in because like there's something for the reader. So if they're not gonna stay if it looks like just another news and doesn't have something for them, something beneficial for them. So you have to constantly keep on repeating this loop and give a promise proof punch in between. It transitions between these phases: promise proof and claim proof benefit, objection claim proof benefit, something like that.
PayPal and the close friend and former business partner of Vice President elect J.D. Vance. Thiel has already poured nearly $9 billion into what you're about to see. Larry Fink, co founder of BlackRock, the largest money management firm in the world, is also a major backer with over $350 million. Ken Griffin, the founder of Citadel, the largest hedge fund in the world, has $371 million in, and Kathy Wood, founder of ARK, has $767 million invested. Plus, billionaire investor Stanley Druckenmiller has dropped $19 million. Today, I will show you how to position your money.
Okay, so you use big names. When you leverage big names, they are authoritative names. If these huge personalities did so, then ain't no way it is another fluke. You'll probably make money. Okay, you position your money alongside political and tech insiders. So insiders, right? They're secret to this. Like look at his promises, like his proofs look promising, right? Okay, wow, these charts, there's numbers, maybe it's actually true, it looks true, but people are still skeptical. I know they've got a lot of objection at this point, and of course, like how can you handle all of that in the first 3 minutes? That is why you get them to watch the entire thing.
Money alongside the most connected political and technology insiders. So you too can claim your fair share of the wealth that will flow from Trump's Executive Order 001. Hi, I'm Ian King. As I mentioned, I am a 20-year
Okay,
Wall Street
the lead is now finally over. Whenever you see a credibility section, or the the face of the brand comes to the screen, or maybe you scroll to the sales letter and he mentions about he talks about, when he like the creator starts talking about himself, know that that is the credibility section, that is the guru section, and the lead is finally over.
veteran and one of the world's leading tech experts. I've
And
discovered
of course you're going to position yourself as the authority, because if you do not, why would they listen to you?
A historic opportunity thanks to a leaked document containing stunning details about Trump's very first order of business the minute he steps back into the White House. I'll reveal the source of this document in a moment. A document I
In a
believe
moment, that's another loop, open loop, right? In a moment. So there you just stack the open loops. You stack open loops, you keep on stacking them such that people, they just have so many open loops to cover that they have to complete watching the entire thing.
most people will find surprising, even shocking. But please pay very close attention to what I'm about to show you, because I believe what Trump has up his sleeve, his first act as president on day one, will immediately erase one of the biggest and costliest economic blunders made by his predecessor and spark the greatest American wealth boom in over a century. You see, according to this leaked document, President Trump's Executive Order 001 won't be targeting immigration, taxes, inflation, or tariffs. I'm sure he'll get to all that soon enough. But his very first order of business, his number one plan, will be executing a massive, all hands on deck tech initiative, what his top aides are calling Trump's new Manhattan Project. It's being called that because it closely mirrors the playbook carried out to perfection at Los
Okay,
Alamos.
so now they're gonna go to the whole historical context that I mentioned in yesterday's video, in yesterday's email, which is not what I'm not gonna discuss about. So you can see, right? Look how deeply they're using the relevant information. Trump has recently become the new president. Trump has blah blah blah. Trump is focusing on these. Yeah, Trump. We all know that Trump's focusing on the immigration and the tariffs and whatever other politic thing, right? But his main focus, like that, he mentions that the main focus is gonna be this secret, right? He's gonna do this first and make a lot more money, and so invest in it. So if you want to make more money, it's also backed by huge billionaires and millionaire investors.
Almost 83 years ago, when the U.S. was in a frenzied arms race with Nazis to win World War II. The prized global possession was a new
So okay, let's go down. Let's talk about the whole story appeal. One, when you talk about the historical context, which I'm not gonna dive deep in, it acts as the story, meaning like history are cyclical in nature. So the people are just gonna conclude that it's gonna happen again. Number two, story sell, meaning people feel like it's real, right? Story is just real. Your brain cannot tell the difference between the perceived reality and actual reality. It just does not. Meaning, like, let's like I if I ask you to remember an embarrassing moment, you're gonna get embarrassed, right? And this is the psychological element incorporated in this as well. If you mention like this America did this great thing in this Manhattan Project and Nazis and stuff like that. They're fighting an enemy, and we are on this side, and we stood victorious, and stuff like that. It's story. It's hooking. It's very like intriguing, and it It is curious. It like raises curiosity for the reader to keep on watching this. Let's just say historical significance and stories. So stories also act as a form of social proof. That too, as I said, because your brain cannot tell between the difference between a story. Like whenever you use like stories, people just like retain more information, and it acts as a form of social proof.
Technology
It's not social proof, but it acts as a form of proof, meaning like this is actually happening and it's real or something like that. Because as I said, your brain cannot tell the difference between perceived reality and actual reality. I know I'm not I'm being unable to explain it in terms that I want to, because I just don't have the right amount. I can put together the right amount of words, but I hope you're getting my point.
called nuclear fission. Both the Nazis and the United States knew that whoever won the race to nuclear fission would likely control the world. Back then, President Roosevelt pulled
Probably
off
nuclear fission is the mechanism. It could be, it could not be. That maybe they're gonna tie that into the tech companies. Maybe not. Who knows? But you can see, right? See how they hook the reader. The induced story appeals. Good visuals. Victoria, like appealing to the pride of the reader. He had the pride the reader has as a natural patriot of the country.
a miracle, bringing together 31 Nobel Prize winning scientists to win the race to nuclear fission dominance, defeating Hitler and making America the world's undisputed superpower for generations to come. Of course, as good as this was for America, it was equally amazing for investors too. A small handful of unknown companies who capitalized on the build out of this new technology soared for 2 straight decades, handing investors windfalls of over 5,500%, nearly 6,000%, 7,540%, over 8,300%, over 8,000.
See how ultra specific the numbers are. It just looks more convincing this way.
800%, 9,571%, even 10,700%. A mere 1,000 into each of these seven stocks would have turned into over $570,000. A stake of 10,000 would have turned into $5.7 million. To make all that money, you only needed to know two things: what was about to happen and what companies stood to benefit the most. Now, if you missed out on that last chance to grow rich, listen up, because you're lucky to find this.
Well, now I hope you're getting this sense, right? People who invested back in the nuclear fission mission, or the man back the last Manhattan project, made a whole lot of more money, but only those people made money who knew how to position themselves into this market. If you wanna do that in this current project, then as I said, you're gonna buy my stuff.
Presentation today. History doesn't repeat itself, but it oftentimes
Okay, so yeah, that's it. History is cyclical in nature.
rhymes. Now we have Trump's new Manhattan Project.
See, like they're gonna Trump's new Manhattan project, the old Manhattan project. They're gonna find the links between the two, and they're gonna say that if because like as they've already told that this rhymes, because this rhymes, history like rhymes, it's gonna happen again. This time, if you are able to position your investment in a right order, you're gonna make more money.
Which is a race to dominate a completely new technology. And I believe it's about to radically alter human history again in a way we've never seen before. You
See like how it's new, easy, safe, and big. This is the information. Like this is the whole core four emotions that we need to target. Big, easy, new, easy, safe, and big, and only anybody predictable fast. These are the core 8 emotions that we need to target. These are like alter egos of these four emotions. These four emotions. Um, yeah, but you see, like big, like something big is coming, something new is happening, some, and there's like natural urgency to this. Meaning, like if you invest today, maybe like if you take action faster, you're gonna make huge profits, right? Big fast gains.
Trump plans to do whatever is necessary in his first 100 days to make sure the United States wins a new secret arms race with one of our biggest adversaries. A race to control an advanced new technology so powerful it could increase the wealth of any country that controls it by trillions upon trillions of dollars year after year. Silicon Valley billionaire Sam Altman, the creator of ChatGPT, admits this brand new technology has power beyond any technology yet created. And
More proof.
economist Robin Hanson says having this technology first will be such a game-changing force. It could speed up a country's economy by as much as 250 times its normal rate. That means if the U.S. were to firmly get control of this technology first, instead of our economy doubling.
So if you're wondering, all they're gonna do is sell you the mechanism. That is what they're gonna do throughout the entire section, on and off. They're gonna get more claims. They're gonna back their claims by more proof. They're gonna, as I said, position it as a huge benefit for the reader. And all in all, they're gonna continue that until all of the objection is handled and all of the psychological elements have been put into place. And now all just next like left to do is for you to take the action, go to the next page and buy the product.
Doubling every 15 years or so, like it does now, with this new technology, America's economy will double every month. And here's the thing, the true driving force behind Trump's #1 plan and this incredible economic growth it could bring to America will be a handful of cutting-edge tech companies. My research shows Trump will funnel $113 billion directly into the coffers of these little-known but brilliant companies to get the job done. I believe the money will.
So little known companies, meaning like they have potential for growth, because as I said, the people who are watching this, they already they somewhat know that, you know, investing money in huge companies like Apple, Tesla, and such, Walgreens and such, is not going to be that beneficial because they could only experience so much growth, right? They're not going to go on this exponential boom all of a sudden. But these handful of 12 companies could.
Start flowing the minute.
And they just conclude that there's huge benefit associated. I'm sorry, associated with it.
Trump steps back into the White House and will continue to flow for at least his first 100 days, because once Trump begins and the money starts flowing, this secret Manhattan Project will be all over the news, sending share prices of these tiny tech stocks soaring. How high could these go? Well, consider NVIDIA, which has been the darling of the markets for the past 2 years, soaring almost tenfold. I predict for 12 to 24 months after Inauguration Day, each of these companies I'll detail for you today will experience NVIDIA-like gains. Imagine for a moment how rich you'd be today if you had stakes in not one, but 7 NVIDIAs all at once. That's the kind of opportunity we're looking for by April 30th.
See the dimensionalization element. See, like imagine. He just put you into an emotional tone. Now you're just gonna attach more emotion to this thing, and you're gonna make more hell of a lot more money. You're gonna get more emotionally invested into this, and you're just gonna buy their product because that is what the end goal is. Another thing I wanted to point out was, yeah, the dimensionalization element. Like, see how, you know, he said 7 NVIDIA like results, meaning like you're gonna this is the people are gonna conclude that it's huge, it's fucking massive.
Trump's 100th day back in office. And that's just in the short run. Over the long run, I expect the gains will be even bigger. I'm talking about generational wealth, the kind of wealth you can leave to
Visual that resonates slash represents the ideal reader. As I said, people over the ages of 55, they want to, live with their family in peace for the rest of their days and maybe, put good money into their accounts. They just want to give more funds to their loved ones, and I hope you understood what I'm trying to say. Right? This resonates and appeals and represents the ideal prospect, and this is a life he wishes to have. And he wants to be around, he or she wants to be around with their kids, with their grandkids, and maybe enjoy life in the later days, you know, and maybe live a peaceful life after that. This is the deep emotion which is being targeted, but you can't see it because it's not obvious. Your conscious brain does not comprehend that while you're watching the video, but it is happening.
your grandkids or family heirs. Because, as
Yeah,
I
heirs.
mentioned before,
And that's the word I was searching for. Heirs. Like you're gonna give more money and like save up more money so that you can give it to your heirs so that they can, they don't have to suffer in their life the same way you did. Like save up all this money.
the last time anything remotely like this happened in America, a handful of tech stocks soared for 2 straight decades, handing investors windfalls of
Promise proof, claim proof, benefit. Promise proof, claim proof, benefit. That's gonna be our acronym. That's gonna be our what rhyme theme of the whole thing.
5,516%, 5,987%, 7,540%, 8,376%, 9,571%, even 10,700%. A mere $1,000 into each of these 7 stocks would have turned into over $570,000. $10,000 into each would have netted over $5.7 million. From what I'm seeing, history is about to rhyme once again. And again, the potential gains could be exceedingly large. And to capture your share could be as simple as answering 2 questions. What's about to happen, and what companies stand to benefit the most? These are the exact 2 questions I'm going to answer for you today. So get a pen and paper handy, because during this short presentation, I'm going to reveal all the details of Trump's #1 priority for his
Another open loop.
first 100 days, Trump's Manhattan Project, the powerful new technology igniting it, the new arms race being waged to get this technology first, plus full details on the timing.
Okay, meaning you're gonna have to sell them on the mechanism. Okay, the powerful new technology is the mechanism. And everything else he mentions is just gonna support the mechanism, and you're gonna have so much trust in the mechanism by the time they mention the product or the newsletter, that you're just gonna get bought into that. You're gonna buy that.
Tech stocks I believe Trump's targeting to win it all. The key is to get into these stocks before Trump's 100th day, which is April 30th. So we don't have much time to waste. Like I said, my name is
Natural urgency. Okay, you see, there's a natural urgency to this.
Ian King. My career on Wall Street as a top trader for Salomon Brothers and Citibank allowed me to be at the forefront of every massive technology disruption and trend over the last 2 decades. From the internet to smartphones, 5G, EVs, Internet of Things, blockchain, and cryptocurrencies, I've been at the center of it all. My predictions were so successful and accurate, it led me to start my own hedge fund where I was able to grow my clients' money by 1,721%, even during the worst 16 months of the financial crisis, turning every $100,000 into $1.7 million. Today, I'm director of tech investing for Bang& Hill, a world-renowned research firm where I share my research and recommendations with over 107,000 people in over 30 countries. And I'm proud to say I've leveraged my connections and expertise to help everyday folks get in on the ground floor of dozens of little-known tech stocks that became huge winners. Firms like Inspire Medical Systems, SunPower, Generic Holdings, and SolarEdge, just to name a few, all shot up by triple digits, giving my readers a chance to make a fortune. In fact, in 2018, I also went on record to predict the phenomenal rise of AI 4 years before ChatGPT launched, immediately recommending Tesla before it shot up by 735% in less than a year, enough to turn every $1,000 into $8,350. Now, I'm not telling you this to brag. I'm just letting you know it's my job to help everyday folks get a chance at the biggest tech profits. And right now, I'm certain that what I believe is Trump's number one priority, his new Manhattan Project, could be the biggest tech opportunity you'll ever see. In fact, I believe making money on this is really just a matter of following the pattern we've seen time and time again from arms races like these in American history. Because right now, we are entering into what could be the biggest and most important arms race in American history, an arms race to control a critical new technology called ASI, or artificial superintelligence. Now, ASI is not like any kind of artificial intelligence you've seen or heard of before. This is where AI moves from being something we have today, something that can answer your questions and queries on ChatGPT, to actually having a transformational impact in the world. An AI capable of actually thinking and doing everything a human can on its own, but 100 times better, without any human assistance whatsoever. It's when artificial intelligence becomes smarter than the smartest human on Earth, and thus the superintelligence. In fact, according to the New York Times, ASI will, and I quote, simultaneously master physics, chemistry, biology, materials science, mathematics, medicine, astronomy, and a host of other fields better than any human ever could. Researchers at Harvard said this new AI is so revolutionary it could discover in 1 second.
Okay, so it looks like ASI is our mechanism, is our unique mechanism, let's say, because there are multiple different mechanisms into a certain thing, and they just add up. But the unique mechanism is ASI.
What the brightest minds throughout history would need millions of years to even scrape the surface of. Make no mistake, if the United States can control ASI first, the impact on America's world dominance will be enormous. It'll allow our scientists to find a cure for cancer and other deadly diseases, help American exploration companies discover oil, lithium, and boatloads of valuable rare earth materials in places we never knew existed, help American workers operate U.S. factories capable of manufacturing products in Ohio, Tennessee, or Georgia for half the cost and half the time as our world competitors, allow American engineers to build quantum computers that could solve the greatest mysteries known to man with just the click of a mouse. It could even help U.S. physicists design hypersonic rocket ships capable of traveling warp speeds to distant corners of the universe. Mustafa Suleyman, the CEO of Microsoft AI, says that ASI will bring us to a profound moment.
Like, look at this. Like, we're 16 minutes in, and they haven't told you anything. They just promised, and they just showed you proof. And you feel like you're getting whole like a So much, like you're learning so much, but they haven't even actually said you anything at all. And this is gonna happen throughout the entire video. They're, they're gonna talk, but they're just not gonna say mean anything at all. That's funny, and it actually works. This thing is kind of weird.
In the history of technology. Bill Gates says ASI, and I quote, will be able to do everything a human can, but without any limits. And Forbes says the nation that controls AI is likely to amass unrivaled economic and military power, which is exactly why President Trump is so fired up and putting his Manhattan Project into action during his first 100 days. He knows America must control ASI first, because on the flip side, losing this race would be detrimental, as I'm about to show you. The fact is, President Biden had a real chance to lock up ASI for America first, but to be blunt, he blew it. Screwed it up royally by issuing one of the worst executive orders in American history. This one right here, Executive Order 14110. Instead of demanding our top AI scientists and developers put the metal to the pedal and do whatever was necessary to get ASI first, Biden's executive order put them in handcuffs with an endless list of regulations. The result? Instead of developing ASI and winning the arms race hands down a year ago, we find ourselves playing catch up. The good news is Trump's first 100 days could fix this disaster. And on day one, Trump has promised to rip, repeal, and tear Biden's AI executive order into shreds. Free our tech geniuses and let them go to work creating ASI. And come the end of Trump's first 100 days, April 30th, I believe we will be well on our way to winning this thing. Starting the moment he steps foot back into the White House, President Trump can begin funneling more than $113 billion into a handful of companies, the companies that I believe will benefit the most from this once-in-a-generation arms race. Now, in a minute, I'm going to tell you which
Another open loop in a minute.
companies my months of research shows will benefit the most. These are little known but highly cutting-edge AI companies I expect will receive the bulk of the guaranteed contracts for Trump's Manhattan Project and see their share prices soar as a result. But first, let me quickly explain who we're racing against and why the stakes are so high. Take a look at this. This is a 212-page intelligence report from the Department of Defense, and it set off alarm bells within the Senate Intelligence Committee. Why? Because the report details China's master plan for dominating the world with their own version of ASI by the end of 2025. Right now, China is the only other country that comes close to controlling ASI.
See how relevant that is. Like DeepSeek just launched, so that kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
In fact, President Xi is also spending billions to get this technology up and running. He plans to use the power of ASI to not only boost China's economy in an effort to surpass the United States as the world's biggest economic power, but also to build up their military. That's why President Trump said himself, we absolutely have to win, because if we don't win, then China wins, and that's a very bad world. If they were able to control ASI before us, all hell could break loose. Our allies in the Pacific, like Japan and South Korea, would panic. Could you imagine a world in which a dictator like Xi, not the United States, controls
Dictator like Xi. Okay, you see us versus them mentality, right? People, they associate, like, because China is our common enemy, people associated us as the ally. Like, who could have a common enemy? Of course, friends. I'm your friend, so buy my product.
the most dominant military force on the planet? Could you imagine the United States being second? Let me give you a quick hypothetical to show you what could happen if China beats us to the punch. Go back to 1941 for a minute. The original Manhattan Project in Los Alamos. Imagine if Hitler won the nuclear arms race. Say
Okay, so we are see how he's putting into a roller coaster frame. There's like China's gonna take over. No, America is great. Like oh sorry, China's gonna take over. This wave, right? China's gonna take over. No, America's great now. Like, but if we don't take action, Hitler, like it could happen. Some like the Hitler case could have been different, right? Yeah, yeah. What if it happens that way? No, it should not happen that way. Something like that, right? So there's this roller coaster chain of emotions. I hope you got my point.
the Nazis were able to develop the atomic bomb months or years ahead of
Yeah, so you're gonna get a lot more benefit, right? There's this gain that you're gonna witness, but there's also this huge like negative emotion. Like, what if China wins? What if other nation wins? And what if like war happens? That would be a terrible stage to be in because we're gonna die, so to speak.
of the United States. Make no mistake, Hitler would have gone on a global rampage. First, taking out Russia, hitting Moscow and Stalingrad. Then, he would have turned to Europe, decimating London. Finally, New York, Chicago, Boston, Washington, D.C. If this had happened, we would now be living in a very, very different world. Now, I'm not saying China is going to do the same with ASI, but understand the threat is very real, especially when it comes to the South China Sea. Taking back Taiwan and taking control over Taiwan Semiconductor, the world's most important AI manufacturer there, as Kathleen Hicks, the Deputy Secretary of Defense, said of controlling ASI. We have to be able to get this with urgency because the People's Republic of China isn't waiting. In fact, America's leading defense analyst, Francis Tusa, warned the Chinese are coming up with new weapon designs at a rate which is dizzying, like these AI stealth missiles that can outmaneuver defense systems and destroy a target unseen. These tiny AI-powered drone swarms that can take out submarines, tank battalions, even 60,000-ton battleships. Even these bizarre-looking machine gun-toting AI robotic dog soldiers. China plans to produce them in droves. They believe these ASI weapons will give them superiority over the United States and every other army in the world. And America can't sit around twiddling their thumbs waiting for this to happen. That's why Trump is so determined to launch his new Manhattan Project during his first 100 days. He knows America must win this race. Trump said it best himself. We have to be at the forefront. We have to take the lead over China. Can the U.S. do it? The answer is unequivocally yes. Because as I'm about to show you, the minute Trump is president, he's going to flick the switch on the full resources of the United States of America. He's going to do whatever it takes to win this race. And that includes outspending all of our rivals to be first. That means there are a handful of innovative technology companies that will see their fortunes change as America goes all in. Like I said, it's the same blueprint the U.S. has used to win every arms race in our near 250-year history. And it's led to absolutely massive stock gains for investors. Take the original Manhattan Project in 1941. The United States spent an unheard of sum on their nuclear fission race with Hitler. $30 billion adjusted for inflation. The most expensive project in U.S. history at the time. Where did the United States' $30 billion go? A huge chunk of it got funneled directly into a handful of brilliant tech companies. Companies that at the time were small, nimble.
Okay, so you have this story appeal that, as I said, ties into the big benefits, ties into one of the mediums that's gonna be the medium for your growth, for the reader to make a lot more money. You think like this, all of this, all of this is so like important, all of this is so huge, right? And you just forget that you're here to make money. You're so hooked, you so buy into the story, right? I mean, I'm feeling the same. Yeah, That's what I wanted to mention.
Symbol and little known, but soon became Fortune 500 Goliaths, making early investors rich beyond anything they could imagine. One of them was DuPont. They were barely known at the time, a Delaware gunpowder manufacturer, but the United States asked them to build the world's first plutonium production at Los Alamos. And after receiving piles and piles of government contracts, they took off like a rocket. Soon, they became one of the top 10 richest companies in America, and DuPont's value soared. Overall, it has skyrocketed an incredible 5.9 million%. So anyone who held significant shares in DuPont before the war became a millionaire. Same with Eastman Kodak. At the time of the original Manhattan Project, they were just a small film processing specialist out of Rochester, New York. The government secretly asked them to develop radiation detection and imaging materials at Los Alamos. Piles and piles of guaranteed contracts poured into their coffers. And just like that, within a decade, Kodak controlled 95% of the world's film market and 85% of the world's camera market. And it all started thanks to huge government contracts they got at Los Alamos. Once again, anyone smart enough to see the pattern could have held stock in Eastman Kodak before the original Manhattan Project and made an absolute fortune. Now, jump to the Cold War and the pattern repeats. When the U.S. wants to win an arms race, it does, simply by throwing a ton of money into it, then funneling that money into little-known tech companies. And investors can use this script to get rich over and over again. During the Cold War, the United States spent massive, and I mean massive amounts of money to win it. A mammoth $8 to $9 trillion all told. And once again, a huge portion of that money got funneled into tiny tech companies that helped the United States to victory, while creating generations of millionaires in the process, like General Electric. Hard to believe now, but during the Cold War, they were a tiny company trading for only a little over $5 per share. But thanks to millions in government contracts to build nuclear reactors, they became a Fortune 500 behemoth. And over the next 25 years, their stock soared by an eye-popping 8,879%, enough to turn $10,000 into over $897,900. Same with Northrop Grumman. The U.S. enlisted them to build our arsenal of nuclear missiles. They were just a penny stock at the time, barely known by the public. Yet over the next 2 decades, the government pumped Northrop with billions in cash. They became a mega giant, one of the biggest defense companies in history. And their stock went ballistic, shooting up 8,376%, enough to turn $10,000 into $847,600. Americans could have become multi-millionaires from these 2 Cold War stocks alone. And that was just the beginning. See, during the Cold War, the United States contracted dozens of small companies, most people never even heard of, to help beat the Soviets in the race for nuclear arms. And investors smart enough to play these companies made huge fortunes. Take Raytheon and General Dynamics. Raytheon built radar missile systems. General Dynamics made Tomahawk cruise missiles. Over the next 2 decades, both of these stocks, trading for under $1 at the time, became Fortune 500 titans, handing early investors the gains of a lifetime.
All this does is also, build up the FOMO, because, the fear of missing out. What if I regret that in the next 5-10 years? As I said, like, there's a natural urgency to this whole thing.
Raytheon soaring 5,516%, turning every $10,000 into $561,600. And General Dynamics blasting up 9,571%, turning every $10,000 into $967,100. Once again, 2 tiny stocks became millionaire makers. This proven script plays out over and over again. When the United States government wants to win an arms race, it does, by throwing a ton of money at the issue. And investors can get rich if you can spot the pattern and move your money before the government begins to throw billions around. The space race, exact same story. The government pumped billions into dozens of tiny but brilliant tech companies, all tiny stocks trading for less than $2 that ultimately built the breakthrough technology that sent U.S. astronauts to the moon. These unheard of companies made millions for early investors, like Boeing, which shot up 7,540%, turning every $10,000 into $764,000. McDonnell Douglas, which soared 5,987%, turning every $10,000 into $608,700. And Lockheed Martin, which exploded by more than 10,700%. Just one $10,000 stake in Lockheed Martin alone would have turned any average Joe into a millionaire with $1.08 million in the bank. Now, just imagine having $1,000 in all 7 of these stocks, all of which continued to soar for 2 whole decades. That would have been enough to turn a modest $7,000 investment into $572,690. But up the ante just a little with $10,000 into each, and you would have cashed out with $5.7 million, more than enough to spend the rest of your life living retired on a Caribbean island surrounded by white sand beaches and palm trees. Listen, folks, I'm telling you all this history for a reason. Most of us didn't have a chance.
Okay, so yeah, he's handled the objection. Yeah, why are you yapping all this history information? So people could think that at the point. It's an objection worth handling.
Chance to get in on those incredible gains. It was too long ago. But now we have another crack at it because the exact same thing is happening again right now. The pattern is repeating itself. Today, we're facing another arms race. The race to conquer ASI, or artificial superintelligence. America, thanks to President Trump, is about to throw at least $113 billion into this to win. Because love him or hate him, one thing you can say for sure, Trump hates losing. That's why I have no doubt that starting the day Trump takes back his presidency, winning this race will be his top priority. He's using the same formula that gave America decisive victories in the Cold War and in the space race. Spend a ton of money, then divert that money into the coffers of the most cutting-edge tech firms in America to win. So, what companies stand to benefit the most? After 4 months of research, I believe I have the answer. I've identified 7 companies that I believe will be at the center of it all. I'm talking about a handful of cutting-edge AI firms you've probably never even heard of, but could soon be enriched with billions in government contracts, helping them become the biggest companies in the world on par with Microsoft, Apple, or Google. Remember, in the short run, I believe thanks to so much government money, each of these 7 stocks has the potential to deliver NVIDIA-sized profits of 900%, a 9x return in the next 12 to 24 months. But over the long haul, as ASI becomes integrated into American society, I believe you're looking at 50 times, 70 times, 90 times, even 100 times the gains as these stocks climb higher and higher every year for at least 2 decades, just like we saw during the Cold War and during the space race, when 7 tiny stocks helped the United States to victory, then soared for monster gains. 5,516%, 5,987%, 7,540%, 8,376%, 8,897%, 9,571%, even 10,700%. Of course, I can't predict all 7 of these stocks I'm going to show you today could bring you such meteoric returns. After all, these are some of the biggest moonshots in U.S. history, and nothing in the markets is guaranteed. But listen, you don't even need all 7 to soar by this much to make the biggest gains of your life, not by a long shot. Even if just 1 or 2 of them soar by 50 times or more, the returns would be staggering. So, with that in mind, let's now turn to these 7 companies. Trump's Manhattan Project, stock number 1, the body behind ASI. The first company I want to show, a tiny but brilliant defense tech firm, may have cracked the ASI code already. Take a look at this. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary military fighter jet, but look a little closer. No, your eyes aren't fooling you. There's no pilot flying that plane. It's twisting, looping, and turning, maneuvering with perfect precision at Mach 2 speed. That's 1,500 miles per hour, and yet the cockpit is completely empty. So who's flying this aircraft? It's ASI, artificial superintelligence. It's right from a Hollywood sci-fi movie. This is the world's first ever fully autonomous ASI pilot. It's being worked on right now by this tiny company I want to tell you about. And it's about to go mainstream. This ASI pilot can think 100 times faster than a human pilot. It can also make its own critical flight and engagement decisions in a split second. In fact, in a groundbreaking test over California, this ASI
Now, all of this, what all of this does, the 5 stocks is, it incorporates the elements of the mechanism. What I mean by that is the unique mechanism. The unique mechanism is ASI, right? ASI is going to make you a whole lot more money. And when you talk about these stocks, you're just going to dive more deep into it, and eventually, building enough trust into this mechanism that people have no other choice than to buy into your story. It's just how it's gonna be. The ASI is great, right? ASI is good. ASI is the new unique mechanism that's gonna make a lot more money, and these 5 stocks incorporate that. And how you're gonna talk about how this 5 stock incorporate ASI, and you're gonna give proof, you're gonna back it up, right? That is gonna sell you on the mechanism, and eventually these stocks option, which was what you're gonna click on the next page. I hope, yeah, you got that. If you did not get what I mean to say, just understand that they're just stacking more proof so that you buy into the mechanism, unique mechanism.
pilot engaged in a nose-to-nose dogfight against an actual Air Force Top Gun, one of the best pilots in the world, flying 1,200 miles per hour, twice the speed of sound. The two went after each other, only 2,000 feet apart. But the ASI outperformed the star Top Gun pilot hands down. Frank Kendall, the Secretary of the Air Force, called it transformational. He predicted that the ASI built into this jet will revolutionize the entire military because it is able to do much more complicated things more accurately and much faster than humans can. The advantage to having ASI is immeasurable. Here's how Secretary Kendall described it. This AI is not going to get tired. It's not going to get scared. It's just going to follow its rules and do as close to a perfect maneuver as it can do. In other words, an ASI pilot cannot lose. It's unbeatable. It will make our Air Force nearly invincible. And now, this tiny tech company that I bet 99% of Americans have never even heard of is about to start a revolution. They're moving lightning fast, just as Trump wants them to. In fact, the goal is to roll out 1,000 of these state-of-the-art planes within the next year. Then, this technology will be used all across the entire military, with multiple thousands of ASI systems being built. Mark my words, this ASI technology will radically change the world. That's why I predict, as soon as this news gets out, this tiny company's stock will go absolutely ballistic. I predict a share price of $200 to $250 within the next 12 to 24 months. That would be the equivalent of the 900% NVIDIA spiked after the Chat GPT announcement. which to me is nowhere near as big as an ASI announcement. I believe this stock will revolutionize ASI and create a whole new generation of millionaires. The key will be getting in before the end of Trump's first 100 days, which is April 30th. I'll show you how in just a minute. But for now, let's jump to the
I'll show you how in just a minute. Another open loop.
second company, Trump's Manhattan Project, SPAC number 2, the brains behind ASI. I learned this company, one of the most brilliant tech companies I've ever seen, is already locked up for close to another $2 billion to help build ASI. These guys have been secretly partnering with the U.S. government for years, helping the CIA, the NSA, FBI, and Department of Homeland Security use the most advanced AI on some of their most highly confidential missions, tracking down terrorists and criminals. Now,
Okay. We're not gonna, break down this stuff because, as I said, it's just gonna fall into the same thing, same stuff as though if you have watched the sales data breakdown from the truthaboutapps.com, it's following the same pattern. You're gonna there are like 5 different ingredients you talk about in the health promos, and you sell each of that. But then you tie all of that into a mechanism, meaning like there's one thing in this one thing, one unique mechanism that's going to solve the unique there's a unique mechanism of the solution that's going to solve the unique mechanism of the problem. And this is, it is present in these five ingredients. This ingredient number 1 has this and this. Ingredient number 2 has this and this. Ingredient number 3 this and this. And all of that is going to tie into the same unique mechanism, same, I don't know, chemical, same formula, something like that. And the same is going to happen. ASI is the unique mechanism. These are 5 different stocks who incorporate ASI, which are going to hit that exponential curve. So we're not going to break down, not going to sit here and listen to all 5 of them. Let's just move fast, because 1 hour and 8 minutes.
9x at a bare.
Okay. He's gonna sell. He probably sold you on the stocks as well, stocks and the ASI. That is what the point was, as I mentioned.
Minimum over the next end of Trump's first 100 days. As soon as Trump enters the Oval Office and begins to direct the funding in a way I expect he will, I believe all 7 of these stocks.
Okay.
Remember, every one of these 7 stocks, project stocks. I put everything you need to know about them, including names, playing together. So it's a must buy right now. I'll give you the details in a second. Finally, my research has led me to and expertise to keep things organized and operating smoothly. I learned that this company has locked up millions in DOD contracts already, and it'll be the secret glue keeping Trump's plan together. So it's a must buy right now. I'll give you the details in a second. Finally, my research is
details in a second. See, how many in a second? I'm gonna do it in a minute. How many of those sections we had? And now you're 44 minutes into this. You were promised that it's only gonna take 90 minutes. 90 seconds.
Led me to one more pick and shovel stock that'll be essential to making Trump's Manhattan Project go. It's a tiny company that designs, manufactures, and installs mission-critical equipment into facilities just like what the Manhattan Project will need to operate daily. This is one of my favorite under-the-radar plays. Nobody, and I mean nobody, knows about this gem. But I also think they'll soar by 9x in the next 12 to 24 months as this thing rolls out. So let's not waste another second. Right now, I want to give you all the details of these 7 Trump Manhattan projects.
I want to give you, okay? They're gonna think that it's more valuable.
Stocks. I put everything you need to know about them, including names, ticker symbols, and full details on how to play them.
Okay, so this all falls into the easy element, right? Easy, anybody can do it. He's just gonna spoon feed the information to me.
Into a special market intelligence report I created called Trump's one.
Okay, report. Now, after we're like 45 minutes into the VSL, we can now see that what the product is just revealed. The product intro is on the 45th minute, and by the time you're already bought into this. I'm kind of bought into this, despite not being the ideal prospect.
100
Think about how it's gonna look like for the other ones, other guys.
$13 billion ASI portfolio. I'm going to rush you this report today. I'll show you how to download your copy in just a moment because I truly don't want you to miss this. It's the biggest tech opportunity you may ever see in your life. Remember, every one of these 7 stocks you'll find in this report is barely known now. All 7 are tiny companies with share prices only a fraction of what you have to pay for Google, Amazon, Microsoft, or NVIDIA. But I believe the minute Trump takes office, the minute he pushes forward with what I believe will be his urgent #1 priority project, turning on the switch to this Manhattan Project, these companies will be all over the news, catching lightning in a bag. Everyone from Fox Business to CNN to the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times will be discussing this, and share prices will soar. If this happens and you're not in these stocks, it could be too late to catch the really life-changing game. So I'm going to rush to you my market intelligence report. Trump.
Okay, so rush. See like how they incorporated the FOMO right before they're trying to get you to act.
$113 billion ASI portfolio today. That way, you'll have the chance to get in at least a handful of these stocks well before the end of Trump's first 100 days. As soon as Trump enters the Oval Office and begins to direct the funding in a way I expect he will, I believe...
Okay, in a way I expect he will. In a way I expect he will. That sentence, it's a legal statement that they were forced to put because, it's a potential, right? It's not given. It's not a fixed asset that's just fixed thing that's gonna happen as soon as you invest money into this. So there are like legal terms and conditions to this. They probably like sat down with an attorney and who went through the script and shared it like that.
All 7 of these stocks will skyrocket. So if you get into these now, before April 30th, you'll be doing yourself and your bank account a huge favor. And that's not all I want to send you right now. As I mentioned earlier, once ASI...
Okay, now we're transitioning to the bonus, sorry.
It gets built first by the defense tech stocks I outlined for you today. This technology will trickle down into the real world. And U.S. businesses are going to see record-breaking profits from all this new growth. And as ASI ramps up, the impact on the entire world economy will be staggering. So here, I want to give you 3 more companies that'll power the ASI revolution once it hits the private sector. I'm recommending investors stake their money in each of them immediately. The first one is a data center powerhouse. This company is dominating the competition when it comes to AI data centers, which will be a crucial piece for the success of the ASI revolution. In fact, its revenues from its data center segment just doubled to $2.8 billion, a whopping 115% increase from last year, which is why major titans, including NVIDIA, are flocking to work with them as we speak. But once ASI is unleashed, their revenues could double again, possibly triple. Believe me when I say you want to get in before that happens. The second is a company that actually owns, acquires, and manages what I call digital gold. I'm talking about billions upon billions of data points housed in thousands of servers across the United States. All this data is essential for ASI to rapidly grow. And every Mag 7 company from Google to Microsoft...
So see how the bonuses are complementary to the unique mechanism or to the main product itself, which are the 7 stocks that leverage ASI. And that's why your bonuses should always be complementary, should be adjacent to whatever the main offer is, because it just makes sense. Like, why not?
Microsoft, Apple to Amazon is calling for a chance to get it. In fact, they're willing to make deals worth $1 billion or more. And this one data company has the leverage to get whatever they want once ASI hits. I estimate their business will grow threefold as ASI expands, which is why I recommend this stock as a buy now. Lastly, the third company I want to tell you about is America's leader in robotic automation software. This is a huge play nobody is talking about. This company's software is already being used by nearly every Fortune.
To see how, he also talks about the, benefits and shit. He talks about how this could be very huge for them, right? Like he just talks about the benefits over and over.
500 company from
Wait a sec, we might have to take a break for now. Okay, let's continue the thing.
From Google to FedEx to Cisco and Citi. It's already the best in the business, but now with ASI, their software needs a reboot. And when that happens, it'll reach a whole new level and experience so lifelike, it'll be difficult to know if it's a real person or AI speaking. There's no doubt in my mind, this ASI reboot will create a monster revenue boost for this firm. That will send their stock price through the roof, and you can be one of the first people in on it. Now, I put the details of these three companies in another market intelligence report called 3 Trickle-Down Stocks Set to Power the ASI Economy. Remember, one of the biggest reasons President Trump is so gung-ho about controlling this technology now before China does is the trickle-down effect, because once ASI trickles down to the civilian economy, a tsunami of profits will occur across all markets. And today, with this report, you'll have a chance to participate in these windfalls as well as the huge profits you could pocket from the cutting-edge defense firms I mentioned earlier. I want to get all this research into your hands for free right.
Okay, so the bonuses are free when you buy the newsletter. This is how they operate.
Away. To claim both of these reports, all I ask is that you join me in a special initiative I created called Strategic Fortunes. Strategic Fortunes is a labor of love to me. I created it as a way to share my biggest investing ideas month after month with everyday folks who want to capitalize on the biggest money-making opportunities in the world today.
Okay, so product reveal.
Right now, artificial superintelligence is front and center on my radar. Thanks to ASI, over the next few years, we're going to see a dramatic revolution in every aspect of the American economy. From the military to the financial markets to healthcare, science, retail, you name it. Once ASI becomes the most dominant technology on the planet, it's going to open up hundreds, potentially thousands of investing opportunities most people simply wouldn't be able to keep up with by themselves. That's when the fear of missing out seeps in. And that's not a good thing. Believe me, the last thing you want is to hear stories from people who got rich from ASI, but you had the chance and missed out. When you join me at Strategic Fortunes, I can promise that will never happen to you, because I'll be right here to make sure you don't miss any of the biggest opportunities. I'll be by your side day after day, showing you firsthand how to reap the massive rewards from everything being touched by ASI all year long. I'll constantly keep you up to date with what's happening with ASI, and I'll walk you through the best stocks to play in the wider markets, step by step. And while we will put a strong focus on ASI, it's not the only thing we'll keep our eye on at Strategic Fortunes, not by a long shot. I have a team of world-class investors, economists, analysts, and brilliant business minds behind me. We're analyzing all of the markets and all the hottest money-making opportunities all the time. And whenever we find a big trend to capitalize on, we're all over it, delivering to you all our research, price projections, and risk to reward profiles of every single new opportunity that crosses our radar. In other words, the 10 new ASI recommendations you'll receive today are just the the tip of the iceberg. As a new member to Strategic Fortunes, you can expect plenty of additional stocks to play as soon as they cross my desk. That could be in everything related to technology, including cryptocurrencies, chip makers, robotics, tokenization, electric vehicles, energy, biotech, quantum computing, and so much more. I'm looking for the core investment opportunities that can help regular investors profit from all these incredible new.
Anyways, let's continue. There was some problem.
I send all my members at least one brand new stock recommendation every single month. That's at least 12 new opportunities each year to help build generational wealth over the long term. Anytime there's a new recommendation, a buy alert containing my full research on the stock will be emailed out instantly. You'll get concise instructions telling you exactly how to play.
So you're just selling yourself here. You're selling your product here. So you all these are all sorts of benefits you're gonna get and stuff like that. Sometimes what happens is people fail to position and convey the product descriptions in a way that's actually inciting for the reader to act. Meaning like it's just the creator think that it's so valuable, but the r- reader or slash the buyer slash the consumer does not deem it as valuable as the creator puts it out to be. It just does not make sense, right? So you have to dive deep, break down each part of what your product does, and actually convey that in your sales messages. This way you handle all the upcoming objections like this guy just did. Like, you're gonna get this and this from me. He just said the thing straight from the beginning, right? You're gonna get this and this. Wait a sec. Am I getting a call? The call's disturbing us. Anyways, yeah, I hope you got the point.
The opportunity, when to get in and when to get out. And I always follow up any email instructions with text messages too, so you'll never miss a beat. Diversification is key. You want access to a steady stream of new opportunities. All it takes is one home run, and the path for your life to be transformed forever becomes a possibility. In fact, look at the recommendation I made on Tesla. Elon Musk's car business was a huge money-making trend that I jumped all over while it was still in its infancy, and it soared by 735% in a year. I also bet big on solar when it was still a young energy source. My trade on SunPower was a blockbuster, soaring by a staggering 372% in just over 3.5 years. And Generac, which jumped 301% in 2 years. In fact, as you can see at home right now, I've rattled off a series of my top triple-digit winners for Strategic Fortunes members, any of which could have made them plenty. Of course, you can't hit every trade out of the ballpark. I've been an investor long enough to know that's just not possible or realistic. You're going to have a few losers along the way. That's why I'm very firm in telling folks never to invest more than you can afford.
Okay, so maybe this is legal, and it just comes off as such like it just comes off as a authentic, right? This guy, he tells me that he like warns me. Like, whenever you see anybody like warn you about the thing that they're selling, you just all of a sudden assume that this guy is legit, right? And this guy actually cares about me. Like, he's not here to rip me off. He's on my side. Something to something worth taking note for.
Or to lose. The key is to have an overall winning track record, which is exactly what I have. That's because I'm using the same institutional level research I used on Wall Street for over a decade. It's something that 99% of investors never get access to. But in Strategic Fortunes, I'm making it available for everyone, all my new members. It's the kind of research that I'm proud to say has made a huge difference in many of my readers' lives. There's nothing that I love more than hearing from some of my happiest readers telling me about the six-figure windfalls they've made, or how they've made more than 800% in a little over 12 months, or how about 1,200% in 15 months. Just look at this gentleman who turned $51,000 into over $450,000 in 13 months. These are some of my biggest wins and most successful readers. Of course, everybody starts their journey from a different place. But full disclosure, I love getting stories like those. I love hearing how my team and I at Strategic Fortunes have helped so many people and how they appreciate all the institutional level tools we give them. For example, our private, password protected Strategic Fortunes website. This is where all of our valuable content.
Private password protected. Like it's not common, right? Everybody has password protected. It's not that hard to get a password protected website. Come on, but nobody sells this stuff, and that is why it just positions them as so unique. Like if you know the beer, I don't know what the beer, something beer promotion, which was written by, I forgot his name. Yeah, Charles, no, like Claude Hopkins, and he just mentioned like every beer company like back then was like had the same process, but like the company that Claude worked with, um, like nobody had like talked about it, but the company that Claude worked with incorporated that specific item, and it became the USP, meaning the unique selling proposition, which Rosser Reeves talked about in his book. I forgot what was that. I forgot the book name, but it was about USPs and penetration, market penetration, and something like that. Who was looking into? Just Google Rosser Reeves and his book. I don't know. I forgot. I've read it, but I forgot. Anyways, yeah, the main point is that you should also portray the boring stuff that everybody knows, it, and just give it a new name and just attach a new emotion to it, new appeal to it.
Is located. The trade alerts, model portfolio, and my special market intelligence reports and more. Our entire research library, where you can get my 20 years worth of my best investment resources in one location, including some of my most lucrative Wall Street secrets. And of course, our dedicated customer care team. So if you ever have a question about your subscription, the Strategic Fortunes website, or the model portfolio, one of our professional customer care folks, a real person, mind you, you can reach out to my
A real person, mind you. Like people think like customer support, it does not work. You have to handle that objection right here. What if they do not respond?
team for help. There's also a members only Strategic Fortunes app.
See how they're using everything they can and increasing the value proposition. This is what you should do. Yeah, you should only have one or two or three elements to this, and possibly like another bonus or something more, not more than five elements to your product. But you're gonna have to talk about every one of them in depth so that you handle objections, number one, and number two, you just build the depth for increasing the value proposition of the entire thing, the core product.
You can use on your phone. So no matter where you are, outside your home or office, on vacation in a remote place, you'll still be able to access everything you need. Every recommendation I've ever released, all my urgent buy alerts, stock research, and my model portfolio anytime you want with just a tap on the icon. You can basically do everything through the app on the phone that you can do on your computer. It's a total game changer. And I have a special surprise for you today, too. An additional bonus market intelligence report you'll receive the moment you join Strategic Fortunes today. And it's a big one. You see, with AI.
I feel like it's kind of becoming overwhelming at this point. There's too much stuff to this because people just want to, like just tell me the stocks and I'm just gonna. But yeah, you need to increase the value proposition, but you also need to do it in a way that does not overwhelm the reader. I would have changed some elements to this in this part, but I'm not an OG direct response marketer, so that's just my opinion as a as somebody who's been in this space for, let's say, the past 7 8 months. Trenches 10 12 hours per day, majority of the day. Of course, I did not work all days as well.
ASI coming, there's one specific sector I believe where a ton of money is just going to be sitting there waiting for us to grab it. I'm talking about the crypto market. Donald Trump has already made it clear.
The United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world.
He's going to be America's crypto president. He is behind this market 100%, and he's going to make it very easy for everyday Americans to participate in it. In fact, for this reason, ever since he won the election, the crypto markets have gone on a tear, with Bitcoin and many smaller altcoins hitting record high after record high. Here's the thing. I'm also a big crypto investor, have been since I got in on Bitcoin in 2013 when it was trading for $100. Today, it's close to $100,000. So I know the crypto market inside and out. And I can tell you there's one cryptocurrency that will be critical to the future development of ASI. It's not Bitcoin, but a smaller altcoin, one that's been growing like crazy now thanks to the popularity of artificial intelligence. You see, I mentioned earlier, ASI computing requires enormous amounts of power, and only certain computer chips called graphic processing units, or GPUs, are able to process the mind-boggling number of calculations AI programs do every second. You've seen NVIDIA grow to $1 trillion valuation because it's a leader in developing these specialized chips. They're so vital to AI. NVIDIA is now the third most valuable company on Earth, behind only Apple and Microsoft. These powerful GPU chips are the cornerstone of the entire AI industry. However, high-end GPU chips are both incredibly expensive and in short supply. But this altcoin to the rescue. It's connected to a technology that...
See how he's talking about the nuances and the depth. This also not only portrays him as an authority, but also um you know what do you call it? Yeah, let's just go with that. This portrays him as the authority because who knows about the nuances, right? Who knows about the depth on certain topic? Obviously an expert. So this guy is worth listening up to. Yes, you should not overwhelm them by using tones that they're not familiar with, because they just say that this is a very hard conversation and I'd rather just go ahead and do something else. You have to position it in a way that's informative for them, but also does not overwhelm them, or it feels like it's just too out of the reach that they just can't understand. It's like showing like you mentioning all of this stuff to like a 3-year-old, or like let's say 5-year-old. He will just won't get it. He just wants to watch what, like, Peppa Pig on his daddy's mobile. He does not care about it, right? Well, some people are gonna have that same response to if you're gonna use like all these junky words. Yes, you need to use this junky jargon, paragraphs, like words, statements, position yourself as the authority, but you have to do it in such an order that you do not overwhelm the reader. I hope you get the point.
It could shape the future of AI. It allows users to essentially rent spare GPU power from other users and pay for it using this coin. The growth potential here is enormous. And as I'm telling you this coin is trading for an extremely low price. But if I'm right, that low price is not going to last long. It's about to shoot up. And now you can get in on it. In your copy of The Tiny Crypto Set to Power ASI and Create Enormous Wealth for You. And once again, it's yours free when you join me at Strategic Fortunes. Remember, my goal is to alert you to the biggest money-making trends of the modern era. I've shown readers how to navigate countless big money-making trends and market shifts. I called the market bottom in 2021 and the subsequent rise of the S&P 500, the great reshoring of American manufacturing, the megatrend of solar energy, the dominance of the Magnificent Seven, and now I'm forecasting something even bigger: the unstoppable rise of ASI, artificial superintelligence. So let me give you a quick recap of everything that new members of Strategic...
Okay, So people only remember the last bonus you gave them. So that's why you use the whole element called the stack, which is where you summarize everything about the thing, like the products you're giving away, so that you build up the value proposition.
Fortunes will receive today. You can see the entire package on the screen right now. It includes your 3 special investment briefings that are exclusively for new members. You cannot get these reports anywhere else, along with the monthly newsletter, which includes an additional 12 investment recommendations. This is information that many investors would be willing to pay $5,000 a year for. Or
So this is like acts as the price anchoring. We have price anchors throughout the entire video. $1 billion, $1 million, use percentages, right? Now if you use, like, if you um now you present your information, I'm sorry, you now if you present your price like of $297, it's just not gonna sound that expensive anyways, because you've used these huge words like 100 million. That now it's just a few $100. Like, is that hard to stress?
even $10,000 a year for. That's how much I would charge my institutional clients. And yet, becoming a member of Strategic Fortunes today won't cost you anything near that. Look, I don't want anything holding people back, especially price. This is for regular investors, which is why I normally charge $199 for a subscription to Strategic Fortunes. But today, I don't want anyone watching to have to pay anywhere near that much.
So you see price anchoring, they're gonna price anchor and do that. Keep on doing that until you reveal the exact price, the actual price.
I want everyone, as many folks as possible, to have the chance to get in on this opportunity. When I say that this is the greatest investment opportunity of the modern era, I mean it. And with ASI hitting the mainstream, the next several years could be so exciting for investors who take advantage of this situation. That's why I'm offering a special subscription package today. The 3 special reports I promised you today are valued at $399 each. That's a total value of $1,197 all by itself. But the fact is, I know many Americans don't have it easy right now, with inflation still raging. So to eliminate
Because, right, you're selling the because. So why are you giving a discount? Like, you could just charge, like, it just sounds too sleazy. But you brought up the inflation costs and something like that.
all barriers that could prevent you from joining, here's what I've decided to do. I want to give you a risk-free trial to Strategic Fortunes today for only $49. You'll get to try Strategic Fortunes risk-free for 30 days. That means if you're not happy for any reason, just call my team and we'll give you a full refund, no questions asked. I'm willing to give you such a bold guarantee because I'm confident once you start working with me and my team, you're not going to want to stop. After all, I believe with a new Trump economy, the markets will soar, breaking one new record after another. That means you'll have so many chances to make big gains on stock.
The monthly price sounds so cheap now, does it not? Does it not? Like, does it not? Right? All these huge numbers and all of a sudden $49, like, that's fucking cheap. People might think and they might buy, but there's more to this. And yeah, it's a money back guarantee. So what could possibly go wrong if I buy this? Value proposition, good offer, yes?
All year long, and I'll be right by your side to help you grab them. Remember, the minute you get started, you'll receive all of this. A membership to Strategic Fortunes, which includes access to my model portfolio, weekly updates, all my trade alerts, monthly briefings with my #1 play each month, 24/7 access to my Strategic Fortunes website, a dedicated customer service team. Plus, to hit the ground running, you'll receive these special reports immediately. Market Intelligence Report number 1, Trump's $113 billion ASI portfolio. Market Intelligence Report number 2, 3 trickle-down stocks set to power the ASI economy. Market Intelligence Report number 3, the tiny crypto set to power ASI and create enormous wealth for you. So listen, the best thing for you to do right now is sign up for Strategic fortunes today without any further delay. Just click the orange button below. It'll take you to a secure order form where you'll get a chance to review everything first. It includes my entire Strategic Fortunes model portfolio.
This is probably where the button pops in, but I don't know, like maybe there's an issue, maybe there's like a marination time has ended. I don't know what softwares they use, so
Including the special Trump ASI portfolio, 7 additional stocks with the potential to 9x your money over the next 12 to 24 months, and potentially 50x, 70x, 90x, even 100x your money over the next couple of decades as these companies become the biggest in America. Plus, you'll get access to yet another 4 more tech stocks powering this ASI revolution, each with the potential to double or triple your money. And let's not forget that every month you'll receive a brand new recommendation from me, my #1 recommendation each month. These will be the hottest tech stocks I'm following, all the biggest breakthroughs from Silicon Valley and around the US. You won't miss any of these. And make no mistake, these will not be stocks you'll ever hear about in the mainstream media. That's the whole reason Strategic Fortunes exists, to bring you tech stocks on the verge of massive moves before the rest of the world finds out. It all starts with the 7 ASI stocks standing at the center of Trump's Manhattan Project. Those who get in now on the ground floor could see 9 times their money over the next 2 years and 100% of their money over the next 25 years. This is life-changing, and it's all set to begin the moment Trump sets foot in the White House for his next term in office. I believe the very first thing he's going to do is rip up Biden's AI executive order from 2023 and start down the path of his #1 project for the first 100 days, a path that sets his Manhattan Project into action. I expect it to unleash a $113 billion avalanche of money into the 7 stocks we talked about today. Every one of these companies could soar immediately as a result. That's why you need to act right now. After April 30th, it may be too late. Remember, billions in smart money from Peter Thiel, Ken Griffin, Larry Fink, and Kathy Wood are already on the move. They've been investing because they know a massive payday could be coming. But if you don't act right now, this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity will pass you by. Just click on the orange button below this video to get started. This is an extremely rare situation that could produce the largest windfalls in 50 years, and it's yours for the taking. I urge you to take advantage of it today. Again, thank you for joining me. I'm Ian King. Just click on the button below to get started. Thanks for your time, and goodbye.
okay. Finally. It probably took an hour, like 2 hours. I should not do this long, man. Long ass phone. Why are we gonna break down?
AI stocks that'll make America.
Okay, it's the same point, I believe, and you can make a fortune. Maybe they're gonna watch the video, they might not. Congratulations, my friend, just as I predicted on blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Gaining my okay, and over the first 100 hours. Yeah, this is gonna, summarize the whole point that they talked about last time. An arms race like this happened, investors in the okay people, okay. They just talk about the same like Larry thing, Thiel thing. Blah 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 blah. My team and I have made it easy. Okay, product intro. They just summarize the whole thing. It's a text version of the closing section. The closing section was all about value proposition and making it as much valuable as possible to the reader so that they actually buy the stuff. 100% satisfaction guarantee. Choose your membership level. 3-month membership only. Did he mention that it's a $49 for a month? It was like $49 per month, I believe. Looks like there's some problems with this. We found a loophole, guys. 3-month membership for $49. They mentioned that $49 for a month or something like that. Money back guarantee with 30 day. Okay, $49 for 3 months and a 100% money back guarantee. but for 30 days. Annual membership saves you blah blah blah. So blah. Okay, so you're gonna get all these bonuses, but you see an order bump, like an order bump. You can see how they have positioned the annual subscription as the go to choice, right? So first they're gonna take your information because okay, so there's payment processing as well. Okay, all in all, that's all there is. Thanks for watching the video. It's probably 2 hours long. I don't think anybody's watching anyways. What the hell? What the fuck am I doing? I don't even know. Yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. DDOS number 38, I believe it was today. It was 38 point, like a part 2 for 30 part number, like part DDOS number 38. Well, tomorrow I'm gonna meet you on DDOS number 39. um I don't know if anybody's watching this. If you watch till the end of this for 2 fucking hours, you're a G. You're gonna make it. If you're willing to spend all this time into learning the shit or trying to be better, you're the G. You're gonna make it. Trust me. Like, mark my words. Anyways, I'll meet you on the next one. Bye bye.